I'm Laura Rogers. Welcome to SharePoint Power Hour. I'm here with Joelle Jobson on audio. Say hello.
Hello.
Hopefully you all can see and hear me, and you can hear Joelle. SharePoint Power Hour is a show we do Wednesdays at 11 Central, where we talk about business user, power user type topics in SharePoint, Office 365, and PowerApps. We've been doing this for a few years, like 5 years or something like that. We are, is anybody in here going to be at Ignite, at Microsoft Ignite? And it's in about a month. We are going to be doing, they're having a podcast center there. We're going to be doing SharePoint Power Hour live there. So that'll be pretty exciting. You all will get to come like sit in the audience and hang out and see Power Hour in person. So I'm excited. How about you?
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So if you are joining for the first time, we have the fun about having a live show is that we have a chat going on over in Slack. So you have a link in the YouTube description that basically tells you how to join. It's iwmentor.slack.com, or a form to fill out if it's your first time. So that's where we chat, have discussions, ask questions the whole time. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and today's topic is going to be something that I wrote a blog post about. I'll go ahead and share my screen. This PowerApps gallery of attachments. So this is what I'm going to demo today. Basically, the idea is that you have a SharePoint list item and you attach pictures to it, just with a regular attachment control, but I made it so that you can actually see the pictures visually on the form and be able to also click on them to show a big version. You can click between the pictures to show a big version of it. So that's what I'm going to demo of how I did. And so the concept is that, let me go ahead and pull up SharePoint. We'll use this same travel request list that we used last time, and the idea is that it's not necessarily, it doesn't apply to things that aren't images, because this whole thing centers around the image control. So if I've seen cases where people maybe are going on site to a job, like a construction site or something that's being built, and they need to be able to take pictures, and so this would be if you're taking pictures and uploading them as attachments to an item, then you could be able to see them on that item, and other people looking at it would be able to just visually see all the attachments. Pretty cool. Does that sound like something you guys would need, some sort of concept that you would need to be able to do? I think I've seen a lot of people asking about it, so I'll go ahead and demo that. Okay, so first of all, I'll show you the working one, and then maybe we'll just create just another one from scratch to show you how to do it. Dun, 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 dun. Come on, PowerApps. Okay, so here's my form. It could be any form that people are filling out, anything at all. It's a SharePoint list item. So we have this form, and there is already an attachments card. So it's just, attachments is one of the items that exists in here, one of the fields that exists from SharePoint. So all you have to do to get the attachments to show on here is just check the box and it puts attachments. So I'll show you how this works. So I'll go ahead and let's see, I'll just attach some random file here. So now I have this test little scribble scratch that I did. I was testing something earlier with the pen input, and I have this other picture, so I can be in the gallery and toggling between them and see the big version of it. And so as I add more files to it, they immediately show here in this gallery. And when I remove files, it removes them from the gallery, and of course you can click between them here. All right, so that's what I'm going to show you how to build. And I'm going to just start with a nice empty simple list so that there's not all these distractions all around on this page. So I will go back to this site and go to I'm just going to create a random new list.
Somebody asked if you could do this with Word or Excel documents. PDF, Word, or Excel documents.
There is a PDF viewer, but I've never tried this with a PDF. Maybe we can try it with a PDF after we get this working, and we can see if the PDF viewer will let us do the same thing. I've tried it with a PDF viewer like last year and it didn't work, but we'll see if that's fixed and all better now. So of course, these are going to be attachments. And by default, when you create a new list, attachments are enabled, but just make sure that if this isn't working, make sure you, in the advanced settings for your list, make sure you actually are using attachments and that they're turned on, they're enabled. Okay, so I'm going to just customize this form with PowerApps. Yeah, so the idea, Amanda, for this particular solution is that the control I'm using is the image control. So unless there's some sort of image of your Word document, this particular thing wouldn't work. So yeah, the PDF viewer maybe, but not for not the image control for what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to make this, first of all, I'm going to make it bigger. I'm going to make it landscape so it's wider. And so now this is wider, and I'll go ahead and insert a gallery. And I'm just going to put, I like this little pre-created one. I could do a cute little horizontal one across the bottom if you wanted to show the images across the bottom. Actually, since in my blog post I did the vertical one, I'll go ahead and do the horizontal one for this. So I'll put this way down here. And stretch it across. Okay, and then, so you could just, so I've got this card that has the attachments, which I'm gonna make that a little shorter there. There. And so the attachments is a list of stuff, right? It's a list of attachments. So you could tap into we're tapping into this list of attachments. Now, what I'm doing in my solution is I'm taking an extra step. I'm not just directly showing the attachments. I'm collecting the attachments and I'm showing the collection. So as soon as the form is open, I'm going to collect the list of attachments. And as soon as anytime somebody attaches a file, I'm going to do that. So to do it when someone attaches a file, you have to do this on add file. So on add file, clear collect, and I'm going to call it COL attachments. That's going to be the name of my collection. And then I'm going to do just attachments like that. That's what I did. Let me just double check on my blog post. Collect. Oh, attachment box. So it's got to be looking at the attachment, the control itself. So this, I'm going to unlock this card so it's easier to deal with. So then I have this thing right here. That's the attachment box. So I'm going to rename that attachment box. So I'm not just looking at the attachments value. I'm actually looking at what's in the attachment box, the things that are listed in it. Attachment box dot attachments. Okay, and you have a lot of cool little features, by the way, for the attachment control. On the attachment control, you can even set maximum attachment size. So a lot of these things, like especially the maximum attachments, are things that people have been wanting to do in SharePoint for years, to be able to specify the most that somebody can attach, and then like the text that's showing when nothing's been attached yet, like the no attachments text, there's nothing attached. And then, you know, you can make it say, please add your pictures here or something like that. So I'm going to collect as soon as someone on add file, I'm going to collect what's in the attachments. And then I'll go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and add an attachment. Oops, I got to do a new item form here. Insert a button. So it's a new form. Doing a lot of this very quickie, you know. Okay, so new. Of course, when I'm in the SharePoint list and I click new, it will be a new item form, but for testing, I need to be able to tell it to be a new form. Test 1, and then I'll attach something. And so now it's collected that. I haven't shown it in the gallery yet, but now that file has been collected, so I can go look at my collection and I can see here's the file. And I can then go to this gallery and say, what items do I want the gallery to show? I want it to show this collection of attachments. And then this image control, instead of showing this sample image, I'm going to make it show the actual name of the image. So what is it going to be called? Let's see. It's value here. Yeah. So to make it show an image that's got one of these blob values, and we learned this last week when we talked about the pin input, you got to do this text thing, and then that's the value of the, value dot, hold on, let me look at it again. Yeah, value, text of value. Oh, this item dot value. There's my image. And then this is already showing, we'll preview this. This is already showing just by default, that gallery that I picked, that little template that I picked had the name of it already showing in there. So I can take, let me zoom in a little. Just this little second thing, the dot value, I don't need to show that, but this is the file name. I'll go ahead and add another file. And so it shows the name of the file, which is something ugly like 3 hyphen. That's a weird file name. But so it shows the list of files here, and as I attach each one, it shows it down here. So then I need to do the part that when I click the pictures, I want them to show nice and big on my app. So I need to pick a spot where I want to show the image, and I'm going to put another image control. I'm going to put a big image control. So I have to now this is kind of messy because I just kind of slapped it together, but you'd want to do it kind of nice and arrange it so that, you know, when you click on an image, the image pops up, but you can still click between the different images. So I'll go ahead and insert an image control just really big, and it can just cover up everything because that's what I'm going to see when I click between all the images. What I did, and that you see in my blog post, is I actually put a big rectangle behind it because they're going to be different sizes, and I want the images could be different sizes, and I want this box to be the same size every time. I don't want to distort the images, but I want the box with the X on it to be the same, to be uniform. I don't want this X like kind of floating randomly in the corner. So I'm going to go ahead. There's the X that's going to be the little cancel button, and then I'm going to insert a a rectangle. So I want this rectangle to be I want the rectangle and this image to be the same size. So I'm just going to take this and rectangle. There. And I want to put the rectangle behind the image so I can move this down. So in my blog post, I actually have you insert the rectangle first and then the image so that it's the same. And then I can, if I want to, I can even make sure that the image has the same size as the rectangle. So it's rectangle 1, but I can say I want the width to be rectangle 1 dot width so that they stay the same, and the height to be rectangle 1 dot height. So if I rearrange and move my rectangle, the image control will just go with it. And then this little button, I'll just put that up here in the top right corner and make it black. See, now it's darker. And so now I've got all these things in place, but now I've got to make it talk to the gallery. So I've got to make it so that when I click things, it actually shows the right one. So for that, I need to take my image control and I need to tell it to show the item that I have selected. So for the actual image property, instead of showing this sample image, I want it to show, let's see, what's the name of my gallery? In my blog post, I name everything correctly. Gallery, call it gal, attachments and stuff like that. I'm just gonna do, since I'm doing this quicker, I'm just gonna leave it with the default name. Gallery1.selected dot value. Yeah, well, let me see if image 1. Yeah, there we go. Image 1 works. Gallery1.selected.image1. So then when we click between the different things, now it shows each image. Now we got to make it so that it will go away when we click the X. It will pop up and then it'll go away. So to do that, we're going to use a variable. So when I click in here, on select, I want it to set a variable, and that variable is just going to say, pop this thing up, make this thing pop up or not. So for this image, on select, I'm going to say set, I'm going to do a variable pop up and set it to true. So I've just created a Boolean variable just by saying to set the variable. And then, so when I click the button, it'll set the variable to true, and then I only want to show this thing up here when that variable equals true. So I can take all 3 of these things, select all 3 of them, and make their visible property equal the name of that variable. So whatever value is in that variable, that's what their visible property will equal. So let's go try it. So I'll click something and now it appears. And now I got to make the X, make it all disappear. So when I click the X, I want it to set on select, set var pop up to false. So click. So I closed it. Then I can open them, click between them, and then close it again. Yay! Okay, so then you can make it pretty. You can do things to make it look a little nicer. So you can put, like I can put a little border around this. I don't know. Put a border around it. You could make it, I guess you could kind of make it look like a drop shadow. So if I take the image and make it a little offset from the rectangle that's behind it, I can make it look like a drop shadow. I'm going to change the color of this rectangle. I think it's pretty ugly. So I can do, I make it gray, and if I make it like sort of see-through like that, see, now it's, kind of cool looking. And then I can, see, I can't really offset it to make a drop shadow because then, we would, if we did that, if we did a drop shadow, we would need to make it in reference to the size of the image. So that would have to be like a different little box than if we did that. So I could do a different rectangle for that. But, and then we can also just make this whole gallery have a border around it. And we can make the images all have some sort of little, like a rectangle behind them down here if you wanted to I'll just do that real quick. Insert. And I'll put an image. After we do this, well, that was pretty quick. I went through it pretty fast. Then we'll try some other fun things. I'll take this thing and put it behind send backwards. And then I can actually make this rectangle the width can be the parent width minus 10 or something. No, not the parent, not the whole gallery. Parent, see template. It's the template is what I'm looking for. No, yeah, whatever. I was looking for the template width. It's got some weird name. What's it called? Oh, I gotta put the name of the gallery. Let's see. No, never mind. I'm not gonna get in the weeds with that. So let's see. I can make it a little taller. There. Lovely. I can make that bold. So now I can close that. I can add another file. And if you remove, you want to make it so that when you remove files, it'll remove them from the gallery too. So it can click between the files, close them. And then to make it so when you remove them, it does, you're just basically going to make it so it does the exact same thing. So on add file, it's going to collect. And on remove file, it's going to collect. And then you want to make this so that as soon as someone opens this form, it's going to do the same. It's going to collect. So on visible, I'll just do the on visible for this screen. It's going to collect. So let's go. I'll go back to SharePoint, save and publish, and we'll just go look at this in SharePoint. And I'll look and see if this is possible with PDFs next, and then I'm going to show you some other cool stuff we can do. See, I got through just the basics of Power Hour in like 23 minutes. So now we get to have fun trying out other stuff. So this is huge. Sorry, it's like gigantic on my screen. See, if I put some other file that's not an image, it just doesn't show it, and it shows nothing here. It just shows the name of it. So there are my images. And close and save. So I created one and saved it. What is a drop shadow? That's just like when you are looking at an image and you have like a little gray box that looks like it's behind it, that just makes it look kind of cool, like in, I don't know, in PowerPoint and Word. It's just like a little shadow that's behind something. Okay, now I can go open one, and I can see that it did the collect when I opened it. So that's very ugly and messy, but you saw I made it look a little nicer with the travel request app. Now we can see if it's possible with PDFs. So let's see if I have some kind of sample PDFs. I don't have like just a bunch of random PDFs laying around. I'm looking, I'm thinking. Well, I can just create one. Just go into Word and create something and save it as a PDF real quick. So test PDF. It's in Word. File, save as. And then I'll just save it to my desktop and save it as a PDF. Okay, and then we can go in here and try and see if that PDF thing will let us do that.
Laura, earlier Hassan had a question. It's unrelated, but
Oh, yeah, I saw
I
your
did mention
question,
if
Hassan. It's unrelated, so we'll have to maybe cover that in another one. We covered that in our class, our 4-day class that we taught a couple weeks ago, but that's going to be more related to like lookups and cascading drop downs and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't have the bandwidth to cover that in this class since it's a completely unrelated topic, but we can think about doing a power hour that goes back more to that concept of just lookups and drop downs and stuff like that. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we have, I'll go ahead and attach this PDF. Oops. Test PDF. And then what we'd have to have would be the PDF viewer. So you'd have to put, either you'd have to have, if you were only doing PDFs, you'd have to have just the PDF viewer in the gallery instead of the images, or if it could be either, then you'd have to do logic that looks at what file type it is or something like that. Let me just try inserting that PDF viewer. See, it still says experimental, so I'm not sure if it's been improved yet. So document is going to be, so it's got a sample PDF in here. Let's see if I can make it so that gallery one dot selected dot image one. Oh, it works. Yay, look at that. See? I clicked on the test PDF and it actually shows the PDF in this image and thing. So yeah, you could have a bunch of PDFs and click between them. There isn't a word viewer, but there are images in PDFs. So now let's take that and make it so that, do logic in here so that you could have either an image or a PDF and it would just show you whichever one you need to see. Very cool. I'm glad I tried that. Okay, so this is the PDF viewer, and I'll kind of center that. And there. And then in here, so you'd have to make the PDF viewer only show if the thing you have selected is a PDF file. So let me see. When I select some, I'm trying to think of the best, most efficient way to do that. So I'll have to like look at the file type. Let's see. If I'll have to do like if contains or something like that. I don't think there's a file type reference. Okay, so visible. Maybe I can make it just each time I click on something, if, and then gallery dot selected dot name contains, it would have to be like contains. Contains let me see if it, I gotta do, let's see, contains, I could do maybe a search or something instead of contains. Oh, contains isn't a function. It's, yeah. Be right back. The dogs are killing each other. Sorry about that. Okay, so we gotta change the visible property so it knows what has been, if the thing selected has that. So, no, I think I'm just gonna, as I click between things, I'm just gonna set a variable of, I'm trying to think of just the best logic to do that, just off the top of my head. Let's see, y'all are writing. Oh, okay. So contains search. No, I don't want to do search. Is empty. Search. Name. Search that for .pdf. Oh, selected. No, see, this is not right. I don't know. I have to figure out somehow whether it's a PDF or not. Maybe I can get like just the last 4 characters or something, but things could have, or the last 3 characters, attachments could have 3 or 4 characters. Oh my gosh, let's see. Oh, where did my PDF viewer go? PDF viewer, visible. I only want it to be visible if it's a PDF. Well, maybe if it's empty, then it doesn't matter. On select, set var pop-up. No, the thing is, I've got to figure out if it's some file type first. Drawing a blank. Is there an ends with? No. Let's see if there's an ends with. Yeah. If ends with, if what ends with, okay, so gallery 1 dot selected dot name, and with ends with what? PDF. Okay, and then for visible, it just needs to be true or false. So basically this is gonna, oh, cool, yeah, done. It just took me a minute to kind of crunch on it. So this visible property for the PDF viewer, I said basically ends with PDF. So whatever I have clicked on, does it end with PDF? And that's going to return a true, yes it does, or false, no it does not. So since visible just needs to be true or false, then that's what it's going to give me. So then I can take this same concept and do the image and do its visible property. And oh, var pop-up has to be true also. So it's going to be that and ends with, that one's not going to be as easy because that's, images could be lots of different things. So let me see. I'm going to put, oh, not ends with. How about that? It's not a PDF. It's anything else. There. Okay, so the pop-up is true and it doesn't end in PDF. And let me go do the pop-up. And so this happened. This is a condition and this is a condition. So let's try that out. Okay, that's an image. Oh, let me close that. Image. PDF. Okay, the PDF's working. Now the image control's not, but that's cool. We got the PDF viewer to show the PDF that we click on. We just got to do the logic for the images differently. And how about putting that here? Let's see if that helps. PDF. PDF takes a second to pull up the previewer, doesn't it? Larry says set variable in PDF true and use it in image visible. Yeah, that's what I did. But for the image, I don't want this to be visible if it's a PDF. Oh, yeah, I don't know why I left the PDF. I took it out a second ago and then I left it out and didn't put anything back in there. Test. Oh, it works. Yay. Okay. So if it's some sort of document, though, it's still not going to show anything. If it's an image, it shows the image. And if it's a PDF, now it shows the PDF. Yay. Thanks, guys. That was fun. So PDF viewer, who knew, right? I need to change the title of Power Hour to Image Gallery and PDF Gallery. Okay, so we've still got 20 minutes left, so that was fun. I also wanted to, let's talk about the concept of putting something in and making it be an attachment. Like, okay, so last week we talked about signatures. And when we were signing something, it just came across as this blob thing. And then I showed you how you can make it send the signature as an attachment in an email. Well, later on, when you go to that list and you try to look at things, that signature control is not, that it's not going to still show that blob thingy, that blob little URL it gives you is apparently just temporary. So we have to do the thing where it sends it and converts it to an attachment. There just isn't a way to, thanks Amanda. Yeah, I'll do that. There isn't a way to make it convert the Scribble Scratch to a JPEG just in the Power App that I have found. So, but sending in an email works just fine. So what we figured out after Power Hour last week was that you can create a flow so you can send it as an email, and then the flow just puts it as an attachment right back to that same item. So let's go do that. Let me go back to SharePoint. And then we'll see if we can do that with the camera control too. Ooh. Okay, now we've got, so back to the travel request list. So here's what, this is an item. And I've got this signature. Actually, let me clear that out. And do like, I'm going to type something specific so we'll know which one it is. I'm going to type 11:40. That's what time it is right now. And then hit this button that I created that will send this email. And then I'll show you the flow that I created. So it's going to send an email. I created a shared mailbox and I called it test sign. So it's test. So the mailbox is test sign. And then I created a flow that when I click that button, it sends the email to test sign. And then the flow just looks at things that are coming in. That's the whole purpose of that mailbox. So the flow is just going to look at things as they come into this test sign mailbox, and then the flow is just going to run on everything that arrives there. So it's going to take a minute for this to, yeah, there it is. So this is the one that I just sent, and I didn't put a background color. I probably should have, so you'd be able to see it. So that's not, doesn't look right. Here's one I did earlier. Anyway, I'll make that look better in the app. So it sends the thing and then arrives as an attachment on that item. So when actually, let me just go to SharePoint and look at it. So you can see, of course, that it's got attachments, but let me show you. I'll just add another attachment, so it will trigger a thing that collects all the attachments. Oh no, so I have to close it and open it back up to do that. Anyway, save. No, I didn't change anything. Refreshing it. Anyway, it works because I did it earlier with this test JPEG here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll show you how the flow works, and then show you what I had to do to make it dynamic. The problem is I did it so that you have to have the ID of the item. So basically when something arrives in this mailbox, the subject of the email is just the ID of the item, and that's how it knows which item to add the attachment to. So when a new email arrives in this shared mailbox, it's going to get, the first thing I added was get attachment. So it goes to that message that just arrived, just with that message ID, and does get attachment. And as soon as you put get attachment in your flow, it automatically does this apply to each loop, because it knows that you could have more than one attachment. And then I did add attachment to SharePoint. So this is get attachment from Outlook, from that shared mailbox. And then this is add attachment to this SharePoint list. So how do I know which item to add the attachment to? So what I did was so the subject of the email is just, see, I had just put the ID of the item as the subject of the email. So I'm taking the subject of the email and I'm doing this int, which is integer. So I'm basically converting this subject, which is a string, to be an integer, because otherwise it won't, see, it has nothing that it lets me select here. I can't just pick the subject of the email to be the ID. So I had to basically convert it and get the integer. So we're getting the subject as an integer. I'll show you how I typed that. So I just typed int like that, and then it tells you to pick a string. So then I went over here to the dynamic data and just scrolled down to subject, and then it just put subject in there. So that's how I got this little function. Okay, so then the file name is just going to be name, and that is this one. See, it says attachment name, and then the body is that file content when I did get attachment. So that's why I had to do get attachment, so it can give me the body of the attachment. So it's just 3 steps. An email arrives in a shared mailbox, get attachment, and then add it. Get attachment from the email, and then add attachment to SharePoint. Pretty cool. Julie says, is there a way to add PDF attachments, columns to a collection? PDF attachments, columns. Is that what I just did, Julia, where I click through the attachments and it shows the PDF? Are you talking about something different? I guess clarify what you're talking about. Okay, so there's my get signature file. So let's go back to here and let me make this look a little nicer. So let me do a background, the fill color, and let me just make it, instead of clear, I'll make it white like that. So then we also have to make it so that you have to have the ID. So if you're going to say maybe, you know, only have this capability where it's an existing item, or somehow you have to make them, allow them to save it and then get the ID of the item they just saved. So somehow you have to get that ID. So what I did in mine was, and this is similar to the email thing we did last week, was I hard-coded who it's sending the email to, test sign. And then for the subject, I did SharePoint integration .selected list item ID. So that's the selected item. So that's if you're looking at an existing item and you open it up and then you're signing it or doing whatever. But this doesn't account for if it's a brand new item. But this is what I used for now. And then for the file name, you're probably gonna want this to be dynamic. So the file name can be like something from one of the text boxes in there, or like the username. Let's see, user dot display name, full name. User dot full name can be the name of the file, and then pen input put to dot image, and we covered this last week. That's the thing that they signed. So it takes the thing they signed for the current item and sends it as an email. So that's how it arrives. And then the workflow is just triggered off the email and then adds the attachment. Let me go ahead and go back to SharePoint and do this on one of the items and just watch the whole thing work. And then we'll see if we can do it with like some other type of like the camera control in the next 10 minutes or so. Okay, so I'll go to like item 32 here. And what is that already? Oh, yeah. Okay, so no, this doesn't have the white background. I just changed it, so I gotta refresh this. We'll open Chicago. Yep, here we go. So now it's white. So am I editing it? Oh, yeah, I gotta edit it. Test 48, it's 11:48. So, and then this is my little special button that sends the email. Now you'd want to do this like on submit or something, but I wanted to separate this out. So it takes this test 48 and sends it as an email. And this is going to be, what item is it? It is item 33. So that's going to take, it should have a subject of 33 when the email arrives. Go back and forth here. Yeah, 33. Look at that. Yay. So then here's, the image came across wonky though. No, let's see. It looks, yeah. Oh, it didn't make it a JPEG. It just made it my name. I didn't put .jpeg. Silly me. Yeah, that's what I do. Sorry about that. I just made it my name. I didn't add concatenate the .jpeg to it. So it just came across as this arbitrary file called Laura Rogers with no extension. It's all good. Okay. So go back in here, go to my little special button, and instead of user.fullname, I gotta concatenate that with .jpeg. There, that's what I left out. Okay, and then I'm gonna rename this button because I want to make sure next time I test this, I want to make sure this is the updated version. Send email. Okay. Back to SharePoint, save and publish. I'll probably have to open it up and then close it and refresh and open it again. That's what we do. Okay. Let's see. I'll go to item 32 this time. No, see, it still says button. Go refresh this. And go edit Orlando. See, it says send email now. So test 51. Okay, the email's flying through the air. And that should be 51 when it arrives. No, not, yeah, the item was 32. Sorry, yeah, the item was 32. 51 is like the time that I typed in there. So item is, sorry, go back to email. There it is, look at that, see? It says test 32, it's just ugly. Or, test 51, the item was 32. I just want to have a different number that I was typing in here. Okay, so that worked. So it sent the item in the email, so did it trigger the flow, and did it, let me refresh this. So I've run it a few times. Okay, so this one succeeded. So that was the one that failed, was the one that didn't have an extension, of course. So this says that it succeeded. So now let's go to item 32. And we close that. So I'll go refresh, open item 32. You can see that it's been updated. And look at that. See, there's my attachment. And I don't have my gallery showing the attachments, but I'll open that up. There's test 51. So the attachment got added to the SharePoint item. Cool. Now we got 8 minutes left. Let's try the camera control. Yeah, just for fun. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. That would be cool if it did. Okay, I'm gonna go. Oh, not flows. Sorry. PowerApps. Yes, Rayho, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm adding the signature as an attachment, but you can use that same concept that I just showed you in the workflow of get attachment. You just get attachment from the item and then send that in an email. Yeah. All within Flow. Okay, I'm going to add camera control. Now my camera on this computer is being used by this webcast. So I'm going to try testing this on another computer. So I have the camera control, and when I click the camera control, I need it to collect that into a collection. And then camera 1 dot photo. So when I click it, it's going to collect that into a collection, and it's going to be photo. And then that is the thing that I can try and send in an email and then make it so that it would become attachment of the item. Right? Okay, so when I send the email, I want it to take this thing that I collected as a picture and send that in the email instead of the signature. So it's going to be, instead of pin and put 2.image, maybe I could just do camera 1. Maybe I could just not have to worry about the collection and just do camera 1 dot photo. I don't know. See if that works. camera one.photo. Okay. So I have to publish that, and then I have to go on a different computer that has a different camera. Getting fancy today, huh? Up to the last second. Okay, so that's published to the travel request list. So student 1, travel request list. Sorry you can't see this other screen. But I'm just basically going to take a picture with the camera control and put that in here. So I'm going to open an existing item. Allow the camera. Okay, so there's a picture of basically my keyboard. Let's see if that works. I don't know if that's going to work if I don't know. If I'm not collecting it. We'll see. Send. Okay, I think I clicked the button. No, that's 4 minutes ago. I can't tell if it's clicking or not. My Surface is being weird. It's like the button looks like it's clicking, but it's not. Let me see if it's going in here. No, it's like it's not. The button's not doing anything. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't have that, it doesn't understand that picture, so it's just not sending anything. Let me see. Okay, let me go back in here. I probably have to do the thing that I collected, but I don't have time for that. But that would be we should do a whole other power hour about if that works, using the camera control to just send the picture as an email. Okay, so on click, it's collecting into a collection, and the collection is, let me just click it just for fun. Collecting the pic, so it's got this URL, and that's going to be like the big ugly blob thing. So then the send, yeah, it's got an error. Yeah, okay, that's what it is. Oh, see, camera 1 dot, it didn't like that. So I'm going to do first, because this is a collection, could be multiple things. So I'm going to do first of collect pic. Dot URL. Yeah, I think that's what it needs. Okay. Okay, let me close it over here. And back to, let's see, when I click this, it's going to collect it. And then when I send that, it's going to click that, it's going to send what I collected. Got it. Awesome, Ed. I'm glad you I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. Yeah, this is all very ad hoc and power hour as opposed to the way we do it in our class, which is very structured. Okay, so let me go refresh. I'm gonna try one more time. I wanted to ask y'all some questions about we're gonna put together a flow class, and I wanted to see what you thought about some of that. So I'm gonna stay for a couple minutes after I do this and see if y'all, I'm gonna put a little poll in Slack and see if y'all answer a couple questions. Okay, I refresh this. I'm gonna try to take a picture with one of these. Okay, so take a picture. It should collect it. And then click the button. It should send the email. Oh, it looks like it's sending something that time. Okay, let's see if that ran. Not yet. It takes a few seconds though. Let me see. If not, we'll just have to try it next time. Oh, yeah. Okay, so, oh, yeah, so my keyboard came across in the email. Look at that. And now let's go see the flow. So it did run 8 seconds ago. Now the trick is going to be to go look at that. Let me refresh this and see if it put that image as an attachment, that thing that I just took a picture of as an attachment in SharePoint. That would be cool. Look at that. It called it Laura Rogers, but that is my attachment. I clicked it twice, but yeah. Oh my gosh, it worked. Holy cow. That's cool. Chris, did you see that? That is so cool. So I took a picture. I know. Like, who knew, right? Took a picture with the camera, collected it. When I click this, it collects it. Then when I click the button down here, it sent the picture in an email. And then when the email arrived, I just got the attachment of the email I just sent and added that attachment to that very same item in SharePoint. Oh. I need to add that like to my class, like in a more structured way, because I've told like a lot of bits and pieces, right?
That's really cool though, but like there's so many people that have like people in the field that have to report back stuff, and that's like the exact kind of thing that they're always looking for and asking about, so that's really cool.
Yeah, huge. Of course, I'm probably not the only one that's figured this out. Probably there's someone else's blog post out there that shows exactly how to do this, but I just think that I just discovered, water or something. Like I invented the wheel. Okay. Now let's go. I want to just ask y'all, I want to put together a flow class, but for those of you who are fans and who might be interested in a flow class, if you could just, I'm going to ask you like 3 questions. So I'm going to put them in Slack, and I want to see what you think. Where's that email? Okay. What's it called? I think it's called poll. Yeah. Did that work? Did it work? I put a poll in there. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Now I can add the options. Hold on. Oh, let me go back to my other camera. There.
I think the way it works is it will like, unless you're using a different one than I did, but it will actually like send everybody a message with a link.
Oh, okay.
In Slack. That's the way it worked when I did it once before, but it may be different now. That was a while back. Okay,
so I just did one poll question. I think I can add. You only do one question at a time. Yeah. Submit to channel. So there's one. And then I'm going to do another one. I think you just can click on what your answer is in the little buttons. Oh
yeah, it looks like
you're already
it, yeah.
answering it. Cool. The next one is. And then I'm going to add my options for this one. Okay, there's another one. And then thank you guys for staying late to over 5 minutes over to do this for me. Add options. Okay, and the last, so it's just 3 questions. I don't know why the third one like put them in there as numbers. Cool, thanks guys, appreciate it. I'm not sure what we're doing next week, but come catch us at, hopefully y'all are going to Ignite. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in our live Power Hour. It's going to be a lot of fun. So you can use the ideas channel here in Slack. It's got the little list of all the channels in there on the left, and there's one called ideas, and you can submit ideas you have for Power Hour topics. This was a pretty jam-packed Power Hour though. Like we covered like 5 pretty in-depth things, so cool. And sign up for our newsletter if you did not get the email about Power Hour today. I put a link to it in Slack right before Power Hour started. And we have on iwmentor.com, we have a free PowerApps email course that you can take. It's just 5 different days. You get 5 emails about PowerApps. And then when you finish it, there's actually a power user level. So it starts at beginner. There's actually a power user level that I'll send you the link to after that.